Welcome back to Torment. Okay, so it occurs to me that this book right here I should have read the damn description fully earlier. I need to return this to Felinda. Also, I gotta go to the Dendra or her chapel house, I think is the next thing to do after that. But first,
alright.
Let's return this book to Felinda. I should probably either sleep or use some items to recover my pools because I am super duper drained. What do I have? Alright, I can heal up my intellect. That's might. That's speed. Let's use it. I'd rather not sleep because someone else might wind up getting killed, so. Use item. I think I need the other half of it. I could heal speed with this too, or I could sell it. Alright, let's use this. This way, if I have a check to make, I at least have a few points to work with.
Happy to help.
He's pretty drained, but everybody else is in decent shape.
We want it done right.
Ready.
The thief returned, the merchant says. Felinda wondered why, but did not ask. Here's the tome of singing thorns.
I'll remember that.
Felinda snatched the book from the thief's hands, the merchant says, doing so. And yes, it was the same book. Still sealed, still worthless, still priceless. The merchant traces the sigil on the cover for a long time. For a long, silent moment. As a reward, Felinda invited the thief, the customer, to take, yes, take, one of the merchant's more ragged books as payment. Stock space was limited, after all, and the customer would be doing Felinda and Steristy a favor. He leaned forward to examine Felinda's bookshelf. That was, after all, the purpose of the establishment. Alright, so there's Angul and the Greater Good, the rise of the Angulan Knights. 2 weeks and a day in the pleasure wagons of Osam's traveling menagerie and soaring circus. Okay. Humming and hiding, the secrets of the labyrinth of sound. Known powers, a historical examination of the rulers of the Night World. So do these books possibly grant me, like, increase one of my stats? I'm not sure if that's the case, but if they were, I would think this would probably be might. This would probably be speed. Maybe it's skills. This would be some kind of weapon skill. This might be like a persuasion type skill. This would be like obviously hiding. No, I don't know. Let's just which one strikes my fancy? Let's take this one. got red tide. Okay. Concealing surprise, Felinda handed the book over. Tales of lustful abandon hardly seems the customer's type. You know, sometimes you like to read a little bit of a sultry fantasy. Day 15, light, greasy, throbbing sunlight. In my eye, tired to move, tried to move, couldn't. Well, that was it, I reasoned. I wasn't just hungover, I was paralyzed. Bound to happen eventually. Someone must have mistaken me for the lovely contortionist with the unagram tattoo and twisted me like a length of rope to get at my tender parts. Which of course I did appreciate, even now. I cleared my throat to call politely for help, and a husky voice mumbled something obscene and somewhat half-hearted. It was dawn, after all, in my right ear. A bare hip settled comfortably into the palm of my left hand as another of my nameless companions got comfortable. And then, of course, I realized the truth. I was not paralyzed. My limbs were merely pinned by the 30 or so strangers sharing the small bed with me. What a relief. So I imagine this is just an oddity. It's an item. Okay. I wonder if one of those books was a quest item. Probably not. But, okay. Alright. Alright, so the Dendra, her chapel is Cliff's Edge, question mark? Alright, let's go look for it. I'm pretty sure it's not here in Circus Minor.
Right.
Go. Ready.
Let me talk to the sculpist. The flesh creeps if you let it.
Like
Let
a
it.
whisper.
Before I go search for the chapter house, let me talk to this guy right here. Uh-oh. This fallen pile of wood and stone marks the place where a house once stood. I didn't even know I clicked on something. Oh, I guess I did. Wounded, inflicting implant. I might get one of these. What's the worst that can happen? I die? Not the clawed gauntlets. Jagged memory. Encroaching darkness. Blood nanites. Fight illness and toxins in your bloodstream. That's very useful. That's probably what I'm going to get. Numenera Analyzer would be very useful. Alright, let's get the blood nanites. Things really do start quite calmly. The drones inject you several times and withdraw to a respectful distance. You breathe. The air seems tinged with the sunset's light. Then, you feel the first bite. The machines swarm through you like a metal wave, nipping and tearing, devouring flesh, muscle, and organs. You open your mouth to scream, and they pour out in a gleaming flood. Eventually, the machines learn that you are not food. At some point during the operation, you fell. Now you rise panting. Don't you look healthy? Jernal proclaims. Well, you are covered in your own blood, but you clearly have more. He rubs his hands together. Anything else? Last cast off gained a new ability. Blood nanites. Took 3 health damage. Okay. So let's see this ability. Blood nanites. Grants immunity to most spells that deal damage per round, such as bleeding or burn. Oh, that is freaking awesome! Oh, that was all types of worth it. Nice. Alright. Screw it, we'll do one more. Jagged memory. Let's do it. Drones streak past you, dropping layers of fine, flexible mesh over your forearm. The resulting sizzle you realize is your flesh melting. You're not quite sure what the popping sensation in your elbows are, but you're too busy screaming to figure it out. Your vision clears along with the smoke rising from your charred flesh. An ethereal weapon, called from a distant time, shimmers against your palm. With a thought, you banish it back to where it came. Summon it again, banish it. Interesting. All done, Jernal says. Good. Can I interest you in anything else? So I got a weapon? It's a melee weapon. This artifact is a metal mesh installed beneath your skin that guides your attacks so they will always seem to find an old scar or wound that never quite healed, causing more serious injury that would otherwise be dealt. The noted scholar Archinog postulated that this artifact functions by causing the older wound before the fight ever begins. The injury then troubles the victim, perhaps for years, slowing them such that the current attack lands. +1 relativistic. Ignores resistance, damage, and melee weapon attacks. Interesting. Well, I'm not much of a fighter, but maybe I'll get like a knife. I have penalties to heavy weapons and medium weapons, but I don't have penalties to light weapons, so I could get like a dagger or something. I mean, I'm trying not to fight, but you know, battles might happen, so, alright. I took quite a bit of damage there, but I'm still alive, so that's something.
Done. Consider it done.
Alright, this is that bar. Alright, so I don't think the chapel is here. Is the Dendra her chapel in the underbelly? I should talk to Aliger too, now that I no longer have Calistage in my party.
Consider it done.
What is this thing?
All right.
How did I not notice this before? A dark spear inhabits almost every socket in this obelisk that stretches toward the cavernous ceiling. No one else seems to be paying the odd structure any attention. Like most Numenera, it's simply here, and if it can't be used, it's treated as part of the scenery. The orbs gleam in the dim light. We lean toward them. Are they glass? Jewels? Ice? Your finger barely grazes the glass before it displays the image of a furred creature touching the surface from the other side. Purple vines threaded with veins of light hang from the branches of the trees behind it. You lift your fingertip and darkness swallows the creature. The orb is opaque once more. The orbs appear to reflect whatever action is performed in front of them. Tell the orb a secret. With your lips nearly brushing the surface, you whisper a thought you've never told anyone. A too tall, narrow-hipped being, a visitant, appears in the glass. Long fingers clasp. Meeting your eyes, it speaks words you cannot hear. You can, however, sense its thoughts. They tickle an odd part of your mind. Dizziness overcomes you. You suddenly know that the visitant speaks stolen words and that blood was spilled to take them. Even though the cause was just, the visitant is deeply ashamed. It fades into the black of the orb, lowering its head. Hum a little song, okay? Nothing happens in any of the dark orbs. Instead, the whisper of many voices joined in song curls from the obelisks, so low that only you can hear it. I'm not going to make a rude gesture. Okay. Am I still gold? Yeah. Gold type.
Below. Above.
Alright, Allerger,
Sideways.
my man, how are you?
Oh, it's you. Reconsidered leaving me here, then?
What can you tell me about this place? It's the underbelly. A good place to work if you value your privacy. Some fascinating finds down here, and good people. Well, maybe not so good, but people trying to make a more or less honest living. Why did you choose to come here? Order of Truth didn't feel it necessary to indulge me anymore, so I packed up and came down here. More to my liking anyway. At least you can see the people who want to stab you here. Do you know Meshala? I bought some materials from her, but I wouldn't call her a close friend. Okay, so I can ask him to travel with me, but I'm all set with that for now.
I'm ready.
What do you got to sell, Meshala? These are all ranged weapons. Nah, I don't want anything from here. I will sell this though. And this.
Action! Here I come!
Want it done right.
There's my man, Chikakt.
Let's go.
There's the outcast. You find a jumbled pile of large rocks at the end of this roughly hewn tunnel. The motionless limbs of a Sticus protrude from the mound, the rents in its carapace painted with dried ichor. first rock is the hardest to shift. Once you warm to the task, you are nearly flinging them aside until you have fully exposed the corpse beneath. Clearly, the creature was digging this tunnel when the roof collapsed and killed it. Its smaller claws mangled and smashed, but apart from the crushed thorax and a few gashes in its carapace, the body itself is surprisingly intact.
You won't notice I'm gone.
Oh, there's a... Who was it that wanted to examine a dead Stickus? I gotta try to remember now. Somebody asked me for that.
Of course.
Was it Manpaw? I think so, but...
Let's go.
Headless Man.
Done.
Well, whoever it is, I'll remember it eventually and run into them. What's in there? Oh, that's a ladder. Yeah, let's go up. I don't think the Dendra or chapel's down here. It's been a few days since I played this, so I don't remember anything
If you want to jump,
that well. Okay,
All right, Rin. You can do this.
that's the Order of Truth.
why, of course. All right.
So tell me who wanted this. Let's see. Oh, it is in the underbelly. Huh. Okay.
Sure.
Learning begets doing. Or is it the other way? All right, Rin. You can do this.
Yes.
Arms merchant. Hey, you got a knife or something for me? Why, indeed. I could get a rapier. It is a light melee weapon. Dagger. So this does 3 physical damage plus 3 per effort applied. Okay. This does 2 plus 3 per roll. Okay. Broadsword's medium. Arrowhead, mace. Truncheon's light weapon. Huh? What's an artifact? 4 physical damage plus 3 per effort applied. On critical hit, confers stun. I can afford it, but is it really worth me spending all that money on a weapon I'm barely ever gonna use? Still, having it though wouldn't be the worst thing. I mean, it's like 250 more than the rapier though. I do have the money. I'll mostly probably still be launching my Esoteries. Yeah, I'll just get a rapier.
Good balance.
Of course we can help. Right, Al?
Fine. You want it done right.
Find him. Something to do. Go.
You want it done right.
Was it someone at the Order of Truth that was... Alright, let's go into the underbelly. I'll think about that some more. I can remember someone wanted to examine Astika's corpse, but I can't remember who.
There.
So is this Dendra or her chapel?
Action! Here I come!
Do I need to have Chakek take me there? I don't think so. Hey, Meatmonger. Mathboss said I should pay you a visit. Good old Math. He'll get a shin for that next time I see him. Maybe it'll keep him on the straight.
Let's go.
Maybe this goes to the Dendra or her chapel instead of back up to the surface? It's not like a staircase or anything.
One moment.
One way to find out. Oh, wow, this is it. Okay.
Yeah, that's something I could do.
Not a very big chapel, but it's cool looking. This short, squat woman rakes absently at the swollen red tattoos decorating her pale, naked scalp. Her claws draw blood, but she doesn't seem to notice. Her head jerks up at the sound of your footsteps, and her too large mouth widens in a sharp-toothed smile. We greet you, tenderling. Yes, we honor your arrival. Her eyes rove over your body hungrily. What brings you to the Dendra or her, What do you wish to share with us? Her gray and pointed tongue swipes at the ritual scarring around her lips, leaving a glistening sheet of saliva. Who are you? We are Gazay of the... She pauses. You may not know the word, but we come from another world. A heavier one. More rocks and less life. She rubs her tattoos, drawing your attention to them once more. They are more than decorative. Their shape and placement indicate familial or tribal ties. Are those clan tattoos or family? Her massive grin nearly splits her face. Both, she says. We mark ourselves for each body we consume, like twigs sprouting from a branch. Everyone in our world is family. Everyone is food. Our world is not like yours, she says. It's not so rich. There are no animals, no... She pauses, frowning. Vegetless? None of those. The only flesh is our flesh. She sighs. But we are blessed. When we eat bodies, nothing is lost except the corpse. The soul is preserved. She spreads her hand. The dead one becomes part of us. It becomes we. The word is vegetables. Yes, she says, raising an eyebrow. It does not matter. We do not eat things grown in dirt. She shrugs. This is not why we are here. We heard rumors of the Dendra or her magic, she says, concentrating. Your language is tenses clearly give her trouble. It does not stop at the soul. It pulls memories from dead flesh and soaks them into the mind. She gives you a rapturous smile. So we came through a portal in the bloom to learn this magic. We found our way to Sagas. We asked Ed to join. She sighs. Now the portal is gone, we hear. But we'll make another, in time. How many bodies have you eaten? We do not share this, she chuckles. We prefer our feasts to be private, but many, we find our feasts on our own. A murderer is loose in the underbelly. Do you know anything about that?
Making a note.
We are not to speak of that. Imbitu has asked us to hold our tongues. Foolish tenderling, there has been no murder. She glances at the elderly man who lurks near an altar of bones on the other side of the room. Is that Imbitu? Yes, she says with a shy, fond smile. He leads us, guides us, feeds us. I have some questions about the Dendra or her. No, she chuckles, then covers her mouth with a bark claw. No, we are not the voice of the Dendra or her, tenderling. Speak of our leader Imbitu instead. Savor his words and drink of his thoughts. She gestures extravagantly in the direction of an elderly man standing nearby, as though introducing a prince.
Why not?
You know, do I have anything that would heal my, I don't have any spray flesh left. So I'm thinking, like, in case these people attack me, I'm a little low on health, but oh well, I'll just have to deal with it. Iyatawa. This woman watches you, measuring every step, every twitch of your hands, and yet there is no fear in her. Iron lines her spine and presses her mouth into a thin, even line. You take a wrong turn, she says, studying the nail on her right hand. Don't see many people down here for the light or the company. She steals a cautious glance at the hulking cultist nearby, then returns her gaze to you. You want something. How long have you been at Dendra or her? Long enough, she says. Though I thought I'd found the place I belonged. Guess I was wrong. She falls silent. How many false families until I find my true one? Why don't you feel like you belong in the Dendra or her? She exhales, crushing her eyelids shut. Never mind. I shouldn't have said anything. A murderer is loose in the underbelly. Can I ask you some questions? No, Imbitu doesn't want us getting involved. She tilts her head towards an elderly man who lurks nearby, beside an altar of bones. She's staring at the ceiling. He is staring at the ceiling and apparently unaware of your conversation. That's Imbitu. Doesn't look like much of a leader, does he? But he makes the rules. She sighs. Mala.
That's something I could do.
The burly man sneers at you, flexing massive scarred hands that could easily encircle your throat. His tongue probes his stained, sharpened teeth, and a short, blood-stained club swings from a hook at his waist. So, what brings you down here, Shiomi? He says. Playing in the dark? He chuckles long and low. There's a murderer loose in the underbelly. Do you know anything about that? I know I'm not supposed to run my mouth about it, he says, folding his arms. Not unless Imbitu says so. Didn't lose anybody that matters, I say. That's Imbitu, is it? Sharp one, ain't you? Mount says with a rusty chuckle. Yeah, I know he doesn't look like much, but that'd be your mistake. He runs things in here. Alright, so nobody's gonna give me anything. I need to speak with Imbitu. Let me check out this altar. This altar is made entirely of human bones with carved skeletal head mounted above. Live maggots wrinkle in its empty eye sockets. Nice. At first glance, it would be easy to assume that this man is dying of some wasting disease or starvation. He is little more than a too-tall skeleton wrapped in translucent flesh and a tattered robe. His hands are essentially bony claws. And yet, he beams at you, his sunken eyes glittering with suppressed laughter and feverish life. Imbitu smiles. His teeth are a muddy brown. I know you, he says. So many eyes have lingered on that tattoo. That noble brow. He reaches for your forehead with a shivering, skeletal finger. His fingertip traces a hot line over your tattoo. Yes, he says. Now I remember. Old Cerisa once saw you out of the corner of her eye a week before his accident. Olorimar sold you a bag of, he breathes, closing his eyes, sugar-dusted almonds. But those aren't the only two. No, you drift countless lives, altering and ending them, never leaving a name. He draws his breath. Oh, I can't stand mysteries. Love them, but can't stand them. Who are you? I'm not the man you think I am. I was someone else. Imbitu says. The same face, the same tattoo, but yes, different eyes. Perhaps you have a secret twin? He coughs gently against the back of his hand. So, what brings you to the chapel of the Dendra or her? So he returns, cast off. What happened this time, I wonder? A sculptor told me that you're not. You know what? First, I should indulge his ego a little bit and ask him about himself and his cult. Oh, there isn't much to tell. I've spent most of my years in this little chapel, he says, casting a fond look around. The Dendra or her has rather consumed my life. Ha! Consumed my. I'll have to remember that one. Why did you join the Dendra or her? Well, that is a good question. A very good question. I congratulate you on asking you. He rubs his hands together with a papery sign. I cannot tell you much. Outsiders rarely understand what calls us to the Dendra or her. But you have kind eyes, and so I will tell you that it was kindness. Beyond that, however, I cannot answer. My apologies. Tell me about your cult. We worship the great queen, Saralagon, Lady of Maggots, goddess of entropy, guardian of the empty barrier, he says, then pauses, tapping a muddy tooth thoughtfully. Although worship is the wrong word, perhaps. He points to the altar nearby, displays a skull with flat, unforgiving eyes buried in its hollow sockets. She waits on the other side of death with her billions of squirming children. They devour whatever passes into their realm, and rightfully so. Everyone must eat. His eyes twinkle fondly. But whatever she and her children eat is lost forever. And so, the Dendra or her work to preserve the minds and the mysteries of mortals before death claims them. We hold their shrill little thoughts in our minds and let them tumble around as they will. He shivers. It feels marvelous. A sculptor told me that your people may have found a man killed by a strange creature. Yes, he says, I believe I know the poor man. Dry as a leaf, hollow as an eggshell. Barely any mind left in there at all. He clucks his tongue. Inspect him at your leisure. He's the one with the charred skin on his brow.
Updated my journal.
Now, I don't know much more about him, he says, chuckling, though I can assure you we plumbed the depths of his mind and body for answers, but I seem to recall seeing him before, possibly not through my eyes, mind you, in Cliff's Edge. He was coming out of a building near the surgical parlor. I'm helping Folsom investigate some trouble in the underbelly. Can I ask you some questions? Of course, he says, and do tell Folsom hello for me. We are dear friends. He raises a finger. Well, he frowns more than I smile. But we do have a grand time whenever we meet, which is often. Tell me about the children of the Endless Gate. A smile falls from Inbitu's face. I hope you are not asking for the reason I think you are, he says. They began as a branch of the Dendra herd that was more impatient in their appetites. His lip twitches like the memory of a snarl. Years ago, my sisters and brothers and I chased them from the city and erased their names from every record, or thought we had. Perhaps, he says, turning troubled eyes on his acolytes. No, this is the first time I've spoken of the Endless Gate in years. They cannot possibly be involved. He takes a deep breath and smiles at you again. It's like watching a wrinkled sun emerging from the clouds. Could their twisted beliefs have somehow infected one of them? Impossible. Where were you when Folsom's protege was killed? Ah, he says excited. I have quite an amazing alibi. Is that how you say it? Alibi? He draws himself up and his jaw stern like a caricature of justice itself. I was with Folsom the entire night. He can tell you as much. It may not have been entirely legal what we did, but it wasn't murder.
I'll remember that.
He leans in close to whisper in your ear. I've promised Folsom I wouldn't tell anyone how he helps with things. You'll need to ask him if you want to know more. He winks and stands back. So, as you can see, I'm beyond suspicion. For one thing, the priest was already dead. Well, I'm not going to accuse anyone just yet.
All right.
So, where's the body? Okay, so this is the one I need to examine. Let me look at these first. This corpse is in a wretched state. Its head and limbs crushed to pulp, with bits of wood and debris embedded in the skin. This corpse has been partially eaten, gnawed by human teeth. The body cavity is splayed open and most of the organs are gone. Under the cloth lies the corpse of a man in dirty, mismatched armor. He appears to have been stabbed dozens of times. A plump, middle-aged woman lies upon the slab. Her head has been stripped of flesh, her eyes placed neatly on the slab beside it. The bed of this old pushcart is stained with blood and other, more unpleasant things. This pushcart holds the emaciated corpse of a pauper. His toes and fingers have been chewed to the bone. A teenage girl lies dead on this slab. Most of her bones are shattered, suggesting that she fell from a great height. The corpse of an elderly man lies under the shroud. His face is peaceful, and you see no obvious cause of death.
Go.
A strong aroma of charred flesh rises from the dingy cloth over this corpse.
Making a note.
You carefully move the shroud to the side. There's no way around it. This dead man was a cast-off, and it would have been hard for him to be deader. His flesh is papery, desiccated. His tattoo, or rather the charred remains of it, has burned through his skin and into the bone beneath. And of course, there's the matter of his charred eye sockets and his horrified, gaping mouth. Parts of the corpse are missing, remnants of an aborted Dendra's feast. You aren't surprised they stopped. Ouch. The last thing you remember before your fingertip grazes the tattoo is a rising buzz. Time stutters and breaks. Panting softly, you awaken, leaning against the pier for support. Your arm burns, your temples throb, and the white static claws at the corners of your vision. Someone was screaming in the lightless, timeless void. You remember that much, but it wasn't you. None of the Dendra are looking your way. Again, your eyes are drawn to the remnants of the cast-off's tattoo. It looks like it burst into flame when he died, burning right through his skin and his skull beneath. Okay. Well.
Doing begets learning, I guess.
So, I have a little more information now to go on. I definitely need to talk to Folsom some more, and I should probably talk to the sculptor again. But we'll do all that next time.